let's jump right in. Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are breaking down a seriously chaotic, high-octane event, a massive Marvel Kinderjoy unboxing battle from the Daytrax channel. If you've ever felt that absolute, undeniable thrill of tearing open a blind box, well, you know the psychology at play here, right? It's that huge rush of variable rewards. We're going to take the raw, unfiltered excitement of their unboxing session and completely break down the strategy, the luck, and of course, the loot.
So, the big question driving us today is this: who actually wins the ultimate Marvel unboxing? Look, this isn't just a couple of guys calmly sitting around opening chocolate. Oh no, this is a fiercely competitive tournament. They're literally ripping through these eggs to see who can build the most legendary roster of Marvel heroes and villains. And as you'll see, their luck fluctuates wildly with every single pull.
50. Yep, 50. That is exactly how many chocolate eggs got cracked open in just the first half of this epic 100-plus egg challenge. To put that into perspective, at 50 rupees an egg, you are watching the financial stakes and, let's be honest, the sugar levels rise every few seconds. They're basically digging through a mountain of chocolate for the real prize, those sweet, sweet plastic toys hidden inside.
Section 1. The setup and the stakes.
50,000. That's the massive goal the creators set for their audience, 50,000 likes. And if they hit that milestone, the loser doesn't just, walk away with their pride hurt. Nope, one of them will actually be forced to cosplay as the Incredible Hulk, and the other's going to have to squeeze into a Spider-Man suit in a future appearance. So yeah, the pressure is absolutely on.
Section 2. Meet the Marvel roster.
Now, the really crucial thing to understand here is the sheer variety in this loot pool. The potential pulls are just all over the map. We're talking Venom web shooters, distinct Spider-Man variants with all sorts of unique poses, Gwen Stacy, and some really heavy-hitting villains like Lizard and Rhino. But, and it's a big but, mixed in with those amazing action figures are wearable bracelets. Pulling a beautifully detailed Rhino, that's a massive win. But pulling a bulky plastic bracelet, yeah, that instantly kills the vibe in the room.
Which naturally brings us to a very important piece of vocabulary: Katra. It's Hindi for trash. The creators actually started using this term playfully to describe those totally unwearable duplicate toy bracelets and the generic web shooters. I mean, imagine the suspense, right? You're opening an egg, praying for a rare superhero, and you end up getting a piece of pink plastic that literally won't even fit over your thumb. They got so frustrated they were jokingly offering to give all this Katra away to completely random people on the street.
Section 3. Discovering the rarest toys.
Okay, so one of the absolute standout moments of the whole video was discovering the black and red Spider-Man punch action figure. What perfectly illustrates the joy of unboxing here is that this isn't just some static piece of plastic. It actually features a dynamic built-in punching action. One of the creators pulled this super early on, which of course made the other guy deeply jealous and really set a fierce pace for the rest of the session. But man, the hype truly peaked with a totally unexpected, just mind-blowing pull. As one creator literally shouted, "One of the rarest among all! I've never seen a Spider-Man like this!" And that right there captures their authentic, unbridled excitement. They managed to pull an incredibly elusive, tiny kid Spider-Man from what honestly looked like an alternate universe. Finding a figure that neither of these seasoned unboxers had ever seen before, that is the ultimate jackpot.
Section 4. The Grand Finale Showdown.
So, after going through 50 eggs, how do you actually pick a winner? Well, they didn't just count up the toys, they brilliantly gamified the ending to keep everyone hooked by inventing an on-the-fly combat system. The rules are pretty simple. Step 1, match identical toys from each player's pile. Step 2, cancel them out. So a standard Spider-Man basically destroys another standard Spider-Man. And Step 3, the rarest standing toys left on the battlefield win the match. Honestly, it's absolute genius.
After that initial wave of identical figures completely wiped each other out, we were left with these unique surviving characters. Player 1 was sitting on a massive stockpile: 3 Gwen Stacys, 3 of those highly coveted red and black Spideys, and 1 incredibly rare Rhino. Meanwhile, Player 2 was left with 3 red and blue Spideys and 2 Venoms. You can literally feel the tension here. Let's walk through this final theoretical combat math, shall we? On one side, we have Player 1's heavy hitters, 3 red and black Spideys and 3 Gwens. On the other side, Player 2's squad, 3 red and blue Spideys and 2 Venoms. The creator's logic here was brutal but entirely fair. The opposing trios of Spider-Men essentially cancel each other out in terms of sheer heroic power. Then they decided that player's 2 vicious Venom figures would naturally overpower and eliminate player 1's Gwen Stacy's.
Which brings us to the ultimate result. After all that chaotic matching and hypothetical comic book battling, Player 2's board was completely wiped out. But Player 1 had exactly one unique figure left standing untouched. That single, heavily armored, legendary Rhino figure. Since Player 2 had absolutely nothing left to counter the Rhino, that one lone surviving villain, one player won the entire unboxing challenge. What an incredible comeback victory, right? The whole thing decided by a single piece of plastic.
But hey, remember, this massive showdown was only the first 50 eggs. They literally have another 50 waiting in the wings for their next session. Which leaves us with a huge, lingering question. Will Iron Man appear next? The creators spent the entire session desperately hoping Tony Stark would show up. You'll definitely have to keep that question in mind as we wrap up today's breakdown. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and definitely keep your eyes peeled for what gets pulled next.